Imagine a party so wild, so extravagant, it would make today's biggest celebrations look like a quiet get-together. We're talking about a feast thrown by a King Belshazzar, the ruler of the mighty Babylonian Empire. The wine is flowing, the music is loud, and the laughter echoes through the palace. It's the ultimate display of power and excess. Belshazzar is feeling on top of the world. His empire is vast, his wealth is limitless, and he feels untouchable. He remembers the stories of his predecessor, Nebuchadnezzar, who had conquered Jerusalem years ago. Nebuchadnezzar had brought back treasures from the sacred temple, including holy cups made of pure gold and silver, vessels dedicated solely to the worship of God. To everyone's shock, Belshazzar orders these sacred cups to be brought to his party. They fill them with wine and toast to their own god's idols of gold, silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone. They are openly mocking the God of Israel, using his holy items for a drunken party. It's the ultimate act of disrespect, a line that should never have been crossed. The party reaches its peak. The noise is deafening, the celebration is in full swing, and then, in an instant, everything stops. The music dies down, the laughter catches in 1,000 throats. Opposite the grand lampstand, where the light is brightest, a hand has appeared. Just a hand detached, moving on its own. It's the stuff of nightmares. The king, who just moments before was boasting and laughing, is now paralyzed with fear. His face turns pale, the strength drains from his body, and his knees knock together in terror. He calls for the enchanters, the astrologers, and the diviners, the so-called experts of the supernatural. He makes a desperate promise to the crowd. Whoever can read this writing and tell me what it means will be clothed in purple. They stare at the strange, glowing words on the wall. But it's no use. They are completely baffled. The writing is beyond their understanding. The king's hope turns to despair. Just when all hope seems lost, a calm, authoritative voice cuts through the chaos. She enters the hall and speaks to the terrified king. "There is a man in your kingdom," she says, "who has the spirit of the holy gods in him. In the time of your predecessor, he was found to have insight, intelligence, and wisdom like that of the gods. King Nebuchadnezzar appointed him chief of the magicians, enchanters, astrologers, and diviners." The queen continues, "This man Daniel has a sharp mind and the ability to interpret dreams, explain riddles, and solve difficult problems. When Daniel arrives, he's an old man now, but his eyes are still sharp, his spirit still strong. He stands before the king, not with fear, but with a quiet authority that comes from his faith. Belshazzar, desperate, repeats his lavish offer of purple robes, a gold chain, and the position of third ruler. But Daniel is not impressed by these worldly rewards. He calmly replies, "You may keep your gifts for yourself and give your rewards to someone else. Nevertheless, I will read the writing for you, O king, and tell you what it means." It was a harsh but necessary lesson in humility. But you, his successor, O Belshazzar, have not humbled yourself, though you knew all this. And yet he chose to ignore the lesson. He chose arrogance over humility. Daniel continues his indictment. "Instead, you have set yourself up against the Lord of heaven. You had the cups from his temple brought to you, and your nobles, your wives and your concubines drank wine from them. But you did not honor the God who holds in his hand your life and all your ways." It was a direct confrontation. Belshazzar had worshipped lifeless idols while defying the living God who gave him every breath he took. The room is dead silent as everyone waits for the interpretation. Then Daniel turns to the wall and reads the mysterious words aloud. Mene, mene, tekel, pea, eres, ena. Meaning, Daniel says, God has numbered the days of your reign and brought it to an end. All of Belshazzar's power, wealth, and pride were put on a divine scale, and the verdict was in. He was lightweight, deficient, a failure in the eyes of God. The king, who just hours ago felt invincible, was now told his life and his kingdom were finished. Interestingly, despite the terrible news, Belshazzar keeps his promise. He orders Daniel to be clothed in purple, a gold chain placed on his neck, and proclaims him the third highest ruler in the kingdom. It's a hollow gesture, an act performed by a man who knows his world is about to crumble. The story doesn't end there. The prophecy wasn't about some distant future. The judgment was immediate. The Bible states it plainly. That very night Belshazzar, king of the Babylonians, was slain, while the king and his nobles were partying. Completely oblivious to the danger outside their walls, the armies of the Medes and Persians, led by Cyrus the Great, were executing a brilliant military strategy. They had diverted the Euphrates River, which flowed through the city, into a nearby lake. This lowered the water level, allowing their soldiers to march right under the city gates along the riverbed. They entered the seemingly impenetrable city without a fight. The kingdom fell in a single night. Belshazzar's feast ended in his death, and the mighty Babylonian Empire was no more. The hand on the wall was a divine warning, a final chance that was ignored. The story of Belshazzar's feast is a powerful reminder that pride comes before a fall, and that no one is beyond the reach of God's judgment. It shows that true power isn't in gold, armies, or empires, but in humility and reverence for the one who holds our very breath in his hands. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into history's most incredible moments. See you next time.